All right, everybody, today we are talking about the top 3 struggles or just stressors or problems that I see as being a business owner. And this conversation is really just more to prep you for some of the things that you need to be prepared for, or maybe you're in the middle of, and just to hear that this is a thing that everybody deals with. First and foremost, I hear all kinds of people talk about this, but it can be lonely and it can be isolating. And the reason it can be lonely and it can be isolating is really because not many people understand what you're doing. And also, it really doesn't make sense to why you're so okay with, if you're geared for this, you probably almost enjoy it and you want to push and you're competitive and you want to just go. And that can drive you to a place of where there's not a whole lot of people that can relate. Originally, when you first start this, that's why, though, and I think I want to also point towards things that are better, that help you with this issue if you're feeling this in your business. Because, it's hard to go to your parents and be like, hey, they've never ran a business. Some people are lucky, and it's not bad if your parents didn't have a business, because like my dad didn't have a business and he was one of the best fucking examples of hard work in the world. So it's not bad that your parents didn't have a business, but it's not an advantage when they don't have a business because you don't have them to talk to. It's hard to talk to someone. You can't talk to someone who's never ran a business about your business problems because they're not going to make sense to them. When you're talking about a $1,000 problem, a $50,000 problem, a lot of those things that come in business are not the normal issue or not the normal thing, or employees aren't the normal thing that people deal with. So it's very hard to relate, and trying to talk through those issues, you just don't make as much ground. You have to, here's the key, talk to other people doing the same thing. And then ideally, if you're wanting to make progress, you want to try to talk to and be around the people that really are where you want to be or have what you want to have, so then you can follow in their footsteps, kind of like a mentor, really exactly like a mentor or coach for guidance. And so as you grow your business, though, what you find is you start to position yourself around more and more people that have businesses, because people want to be around people that do the same thing as them. Just like if you love basketball, you like being around other people that love basketball, so you can all talk basketball. And business owners really like being around other business owners of any kind of business, because you can talk about the problems and struggles and you can relate, and then with that you can come together and get ideas that help you overcome all of this. Now, on a similar token, on the lonely and isolating, but kind of like a different version of this, what this does is it initially, when you start a business, it shrinks your circle, right? Because you were used to, and I was used to, just really doing what everybody did and having a good time and having fun. And usually that was drinking and whatever else in life, right? When you get on a path of success and growing yourself and shooting to try to have success in your life, you're hard charging and you're driven, you initially really start shedding all those people that were more your friends and acquaintances just out of fun. We all like to have fun together. And sure, everybody likes to have fun. But unfortunately, fun is only going to produce so much in your life. And so if you make the decision to start a business and you really are wanting to invest in that and try to get everything you can get out of that, that's going to shrink your circle, right? Because you're now going all in on something. You're going all in on this thing that, for one, here again, back to the lonely and isolating, people don't understand. And if your whole friend group, and that's really kind of how mine was all positioned around having fun, drinking, partying, and all of that is fine and dandy. But if you want to be the best at what you're doing and make as much ground as possible, you can't devote all of your time to that. You have to devote the time to the craft. That's why starting a business is so hard, because it is a huge time requirement. You have to be all in. I would venture to say this whole work-life balance thing, you have to be fucking obsessed if you want to do well at anything. You trying to get this perfect balance and also achieve a level of whatever is greatness to you is probably not a reality. If you just want mediocre results, if you just want average results, then yeah, you can probably do whatever you want. But who wants to say, hey, you lived an average life. Like, I'm not saying that that's necessarily even bad, but like if you were setting out to be successful and driven and really wanting to shoot for the stars in business and see what you can accomplish, like if you're someone who's truly geared to be an entrepreneur, you're geared to be competitive, you're probably type A, like obviously there's so many caveats and variables, right? I'm not saying that this is a everything and all conversation, but if you're truly driven, like you're not going to fucking want the results of average. And so back to what I'm saying, this can really initially shrink your circle because you realize you start becoming much more selective about who you're around, because if they don't contribute to you bettering your life and bettering yourself, you want to kind of start to naturally start distancing yourself and then putting yourself and positioning yourself around the people who do. And that is just growth and maturity either way, because as you might not even say that you become a business owner, but just say you become a parent and you're growing up, you will probably slowly start positioning yourself further and further away from the people who hang out all the time at the bar and that is their life, because you want to start devoting your time into your children to become a better parent, to be the best you can be for them. This whole thing of like, if you have something you really care about, you want to be the best you can be for that. And life, to be the best you can be for things, is really about selflessness, because you can't be selfish, because you're going to invest all of this time into something, into things, your children, your business, your relationship. And to really get the most out of life, it's about being there for other people. You know, there's only so much you get out of really being there for yourself. So that's initially, because as you grow in a business, what you do is what I already said about that lonely and isolating. You start positioning yourself around more and more people that have businesses that you can relate with, and then growing that circle back. So originally it dwindles because people don't understand you, and then you start finding other people around you that do the same thing or have a business that you can relate to, and then you start growing that circle back up. And it is really, really cool that you start growing with a clear passion and purpose of like, these people are doing something similar to me, and now I'm growing out that group of people that now it's not just for partying, now it's for this fun thing and cool thing that we're shooting towards now. And I guess really it was all for fun, because people that are geared, I think, for being a business owner, look at this challenging life as a business owner like it's fun. Now, finally, the last big struggle is you really become a professional, or have to become a professional at putting out fires. And that's some of what your life becomes, because just by the title itself of being the owner of a business, an operation, this entity, this living creature that you've created, it naturally you have a filter on your life that the biggest flaming piles of shit come to you. Because literally, as you grow a team, as you build the thing bigger, I mean, in the beginning, all the stuff comes to you, whether it's big or small. But as you grow and grow and grow and grow, the problems get bigger and bigger and bigger and more challenging. Like, just because your business grows doesn't mean the problems get smaller. It all gets bigger. Like, the dollar amounts of problems get bigger. The crazy level of problems get busier. And so the filter narrows down, though, because you get people at the top of the filter that start working with you. They can handle some problems, but what they can handle is only so much. So then the filter to pop out down at the bottom is making sure that what you get is the hottest, flaming, biggest burning issues. So you really become a person who's a professional fire extinguisher, and you spend your days focusing on the things the fires that will really return the biggest result to the company. And so that can be a challenge, though, because when you got started, maybe you didn't think about, hey, I'm going to be constantly putting out fires. That is business. That is life. You know, you get paid as a business owner, as a person building this, in relation to the level of problems you can fix. With that being said, you should be shooting for massive problems. So you should want massive problems in your business. You should want new problems in your business, because that means growth. I will tell you, 2024, we were kind of stagnant with new problems. It was just consistent problems, and that's less exciting. You want to build new problems in your business. When you slow down or things kind of stagnate for some amount of time, and everybody's going to hit plateaus, you just end up running into the same thing all the time. And if you're going to have problems, you might as well have new, bigger ones, so you're actually heading in a good direction. So those are the three things that I think are very frustrating in business that everyone is going to go through and everyone is going to deal with. And with that being said, that's why business is really meant for such a small amount of people. And so few are actually geared for this because it is hard. It is a massive challenge, but life is a massive challenge and it's worth it. And I think that the end result of someone who really truly wants to go all in on this is that you can create and you can build and you can bring value to everyone around you and touch, and you get the opportunity to inspire and create jobs and do so much. But it is extremely stressful and there's a lot of anxiety, and it's a life that, you hear Elon Musk talk about a startup, and it's kind of like waking up every day and eating glass for breakfast. Never gets any better, but I guess at some point you just kind of get numb and you get a little used to it. So that doesn't sound the most optimistic in the world, but those are some of the problems, that it is the challenges of it. And for people that are geared for it, I think that you should be doing everything you can do, and that's kind of your duty. So I hope this has helped you. I hope this has gave you some ideas that if you're feeling a little lonely right now, it does get better because you start finding more people and growing that circle back up. And there are people out there going through the exact same problem you're on, so don't feel like you're on an island. Talk to other business owners, look to other business owners, meet with other business owners, because they have probably, or someone else has went through the exact same thing you're going through that could help you get out of your problem in half the time. Best of luck. Keep growing your company. The challenge is worth it.